Okay. Do you know what women in our 40s do not need? Let me show you. We don't need one of these. We don't need advertisements about one of these. We don't need to hear about how our necks are wrinkly and our faces are wrinkly. We know that we are aging. We don't need to be given advertisements all the time, pressuring us to look younger when it's a privilege to age. But nobody thinks that way. We are given these kinds of horrible, ridiculous ads pressuring us to look different and look younger. There is just such a disrespect for what women have to offer from our 40s on, and then what advertisers would have us thinking that we need. I think it's a travesty that the world treats women like our main value comes from how thin we are and how young we look. There's some real creepy reasons for that. These values are not the values that we want. Do we want to waste our potential and our capacity thinking about wrinkles? I don't know that I would have even been thinking about the wrinkles on my neck if I hadn't heard so many times how horrible it was to have wrinkles on your neck. What are we doing? Why are we focusing purely on externals with women? So much of our lives as women is spent trying to look younger and trying to be skinnier. What women in our 40s need is support. We need emotional support heating pads. What we need is encouragement to still have a life. We need encouragement to put ourselves out there. We need advertisements about making vision boards. We need people to realize that we have learned some things. It's a real tragedy that so many women spend their whole entire lives trying to lose weight. Think of the things that all of us cumulatively could be doing if we weren't having all of this advertising poured all over us. It's like the air that we breathe telling us our bodies are where our value lies and our appearance is where our value lies. So much wasted potential. One of the most transformative things for me, being a woman living abroad, would be that I have gotten interests beyond weight loss and beyond my appearance and beyond cuter clothes and renovating a house. Do we really want to spend our precious lives focused on such uninspiring things? So I sent that picture, that really weird advertisement, to my friend. I was like, is Instagram being for real right now? It reminds me of that. I don't know if you've ever seen the advertisements for that really weird sleep pillow that looks like an ostrich head. But how absurd. How absurd that this is what the internet wants us to be focused on, when we could be focused on our vision for the future. We could be focused on creating a life that brings us joy, creating a life where we could just be in our bodies and go do things that we love and make an impact in the world by feeling fully alive and being glad to be fully alive. There was the most beautiful quote in Shannon Martin's book, Counterweights. What women in our 40s need is counterweights. We need that book. We need what she's talking about in the book, which is how we have so much heaviness that we have to carry in this world. We need the counterweight so that we're balanced. We need big joys. We need life that we love. We need things that make us happy. And for me, moving abroad has absolutely been a counterweight. It has helped me deal with the heaviness that inevitably comes at this time of life. Diagnoses for parents, like my mom has Alzheimer's. My kids have been teenagers. They have gone through really, 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 really hard stuff. Oh my gosh, and I've had to parent through it. I've had to parent through it. What I need, what women need, is not ridiculous advertisements focused on our appearance. What we need is good medical care, equal pay. We need people to not write us off after we are in our mid-40s, 50s, 60s. What in the world is going on that women have this mentality that it's all downhill after you're 40, after you're 50, after you're 60? You still hopefully have decades left in your beautiful existence. We need to be inspiring one another. We need to be encouraging one another, not to waste our time worrying about our neck wrinkles. What we need to be encouraging each other is the kind of stuff that's in the quote that I almost forgot that I was going to read you. It's a Howard Thurman quote that I really love. For you, for me, in our 40s. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. The world needs women who have come alive, not women worried about our neck wrinkles. If there's anything that women in our 40s need, it's to be supported while we support all the people that we support. That's what we need. Today was one of those days that is so common in the 40s, which is just a roller coaster, an emotional roller coaster. That was the kind of day where I woke up and got really good news, on a world level, really good news about what happened in Hungary. And then I got several personal bad newses. Good news, bad news, bad news, bad news. Like significant things. A friend's mom on hospice, something that I can't talk about, and a kid struggle, big struggle. And so I did what I do here because I can. I went to the beach. So this is me letting the ocean be my therapist. I love a human therapist, but since I have moved here, the ocean has been my therapist. I put things on my vision board that remind me what I need to remember when things are hard or when I need to stay inspired. So this one says, the cure for anything is salt water, sweat, tears, or the sea. I think Isaac Dennison was maybe the person who said that. So here you see me sitting on the beach, sitting on some rocks, and just trying to regulate and receive some space. I did some crying, I did some thinking, and some breathing. And I just let the ocean be an encourager to me. That beach really has held me through some very hard things. It's held me through really hard kid things, through the grief of having my mom slip away to Alzheimer's, through the grief of losing my best friend to cancer, and the many, many multitude of stresses that are part of a life especially a life at this stage in your 40s. I read somewhere that 47 is the unhappiest year for women, and that made me really sad. I was just thinking, like, how do we prevent that? How do we set ourselves up for having more beauty in our 40s instead of having some of these years be the very worst year of our lives? Part of that is not stopping dreaming just because we're in our 40s. The beauty of being this age, if we give ourselves the time, is we have perspective. We know what really matters to us, and we realize the brevity of life in a new way. And that's an opportunity. Right now, I'm doing a video every single day for 44 days. 44 ways I built a life that doesn't break me. Honestly, pursuing my dream to move abroad, even after it sat on the shelf for 20 years, is exactly how I built a life that didn't break me, because I didn't give up on my dreams. Sure looked like I did, and yet I didn't. And I am so glad that I made the effort to follow my dreams and to get in touch with myself again and what I actually wanted from life. Because living here, I mean, we had a lot of wild things happen. Really, really roller coaster. You want to talk about roller coasters? Really, really roller coaster before we landed here by the beach in Portugal. And we've been here almost 4 years, which is incredible. But if I hadn't taken the risk to know myself again and to get really clear about what I valued and how my life didn't really match what I valued, if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have the ocean right now to carry me through some of the hardest times of my life. So I don't think that I will be saying, like, this is the hardest year of my life, because I have set myself up to be supported in a way that I didn't have support before. It's the support of nature. It's the support of beauty. It's so easy to find beauty here. That is something that my heart needed. And living here gives me the capacity to handle my 40s. Face straps and weird pressure to look younger than you are, those things are not going to buoy your spirit. Losing weight is not going to buoy your spirit in your 40s. What will help you stay afloat is pursuing what makes you glad to be alive. What is it? I would love if you tell me in the comments something that makes you glad to be alive. For me, it was travel, it's art, it's nature. Those things all make me very, very glad to be alive. And they are the counterweight to the heavy that's in the world. So this was a little bit of a rant today. I hope that you realize how much aliveness and brilliance you have as a woman in your 40s to offer the world. The world needs you fully alive, and you will like your life better if you are fully alive and pursue the things that actually matter to you on the deepest level. Okay? Let's not waste time. And there's so much beauty that we could be adding to the world and pursuing that makes us feel alive. This was a weird one, friends. See you tomorrow.